Factsverse presents. A 92-year-old man reports a robbery, and the police make a discovery that they cannot ignore. It's not uncommon to hear stories about the police in the news. Unfortunately, many of these stories are not good ones. A few bad apples have spoiled the batch, and now police officers get a bad rap, usually unwarranted. People are often making complaints about the police as a way to make excuses for their own crimes. When a story comes out about the police doing something great, it should be celebrated. There are not too many people left who fought for our country during World War II, and Lewis C. Hicks, he's one of them. Lewis left his family, friends, his entire life behind so that he could go off to war and fight for our freedoms. Even after leaving the military, Lewis always tried to do the right thing. Lewis had a workshop behind his home, and when he went out back one day, he found that somebody had broken into his workshop and stolen his tools. Well, Lewis loved to work in his shop. He lived on a limited income, so he called the police. His hope was that they'd be able to find the thief and his tools would be returned to him. Because of the robbery, he got more than he bargained for. This 92-year-old, he sounded the alarm after the robbery, but police made a hair-raising discovery. The officer who took the call was Chasity Salazar. She'd been on the force for a few years and loved her job as a police officer. When she arrived at Lewis's home, she asked if she could take a look around. After checking out his workshop, she took a look around his house. Lewis seemed a bit worried when Chastity was looking around his kitchen. She told Lewis that she had everything she needed and she'd let him know if anything came up. Before she left, she promised not to bother him again. Well, Lewis, why was he worried? Well, he was worried that Chastity would see his oven. All of the burners were turned on high. The oven was on. The door was open. His oven wasn't on because he forgot to turn it off. He was using it to heat his home. He could no longer use his heater because it had burned a hole through his floor. Because he lived on a fixed income, he didn't have the money to replace his heater. His stove was the only way that he could keep his home warm. When Chastity saw the way Lewis was heating his home, it just broke her heart. She knew she had to do something for this man who once fought for his country. So she returned to the station and told her colleagues about what she saw at the man's home. She also reached out to people who she thought might be able to help. She wanted this man to get a new heater. Officer Chastity and her partner, Officer Bino Cadenas, were the ones who brought this new heater to Lewis. When they showed him the gift, he couldn't hold back his tears. He told Chastity and Bino that when his mother passed away, he was left to take care of his two sisters, and he never got any help. He also said that nobody ever really did anything to help him. They gave him a beautiful new electric fireplace. When Lewis's neighbors found out about what Chastity had done for him, they decided they would do what they could to help as well. They started working together, doing chores for Lewis and helping around the yard to make his life easier. The police in Austin knew that Lewis lived on a limited budget. They were thrilled that his neighbors were doing their part, but they knew he still needed more. So they made a list of items he needed daily, such as shirts, pants, underwear, food. They took up a collection and asked for donations and were able to bring Lewis everything that he needed. What Officer Chastity and Lewis's neighbors and the Austin Police Department did for Lewis is incredible. The small things that they were doing have changed this man's life forever. If anyone deserves help, it is this brave veteran. Show your support for our men and women in uniform. Click that like button, and also be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss our future videos.